I can safely say that I am obsessed with Georgette Heron. That like once I started this month, all I can think about is wanting to read another one of her books. Like last month I didn't read any and like it did make me sad. But it's a lot easier if you didn't read it and keep busy with other books than if you read one of her books because that's all you want to keep doing is reading. And I'm like, I have other books I need to read, but I just want to read more Georgette Heron. And one of the ones I got to read this month, which is the second one this month I read, was The Unknown Ajax. And this was so good, but very different than her others. It's not as romantic as some of her other books, but there's still romance. Like the couple is actually really cute. I really love their banter because they have a very distinct style of like humor, and especially the male main character. His humor is so subtle and so funny. Like I loved it. So when he was then declaring his love for her, pretty much, she thought he was joking. And it reminded me a lot of like Jude and Carter when like Carter would be like, I love you. And she's like, sure, you're joking. You're pulling my leg. That's exactly what was happening on here too. But the story, the romance is not the main focus, though it is there. The main focus is this like family dynamic. So we have this family that's very proud of their name and title, even though they don't really can't really prove it because like their house is kind of decaying. They're not really good. They're all very cruel because they're held under the thumb of their grandfather who is in charge, the patriarchy of the family, and he gets his way. They all have to bend to his will. However, unfortunately, his last heir and that son, like his son and grandson, had recently died on a boating accident. So that meant that the next son, who he had thrown out because he had married someone not worthy of him, that son's son, who's his grandson, comes and he is part of the army. They're not sure if he's gonna be a bumbling hick, blah blah blah. He married his mother was a weaver's, blah, all these things, and he comes in, and they're all his cousins, his aunts, uncles, his grandfather immediately think he's gonna be a bumbling idiot because he's tall and has these very like childlike eyes and glint to them, and he leans into that. He leans into that perception, and it's set. As the story goes on, you start to realize like he's not an idiot. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's leaning into their expectations of him and messing with them. Well, like he didn't want to stay, but then he finds reasons to stay and wants to improve things, and like he every relationship that he develops with the family members, while it's rocky at first, he helps them for the better. He makes everyone a better person, and the relationships are just so cute. Every character, in like with every Georgette Heron story, it's so distinct and very like colorful. So this was such a interesting story to read. Like I said, it's not as romantic as some of our others, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I can see why other reviewers deem this as one of their favorite Georgette Heron stories. I think it's definitely towards the top of mine. It may not be my favorite. I think that might go to Black Sheep and Grand Sophie, but I really enjoyed this story a lot, and I obviously recommend it. I recommend anything by Georgette Heron because she has been such a good time. This is what's getting me through 2025 is Georgette Heron story, so I recommend checking it out.